once again, good evening to you wherever you might be listening. Dumelang bagaetsho, sanbonani, abshene leperile. Wherever you might be listening, this is the live special broadcast brought to you by the Government Communications and Information System. It's 6:05, and as usual, on a Thursday, we are talking justice. It's coming to you live from Pretoria, and it's brought to you, as I said, by GCIS as well as the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. By the way, as a listener, you can also talk to us, Kulumanati, if you want to talk issues of justice tonight. We are on Facebook. It's on DOJCD, as well as on Twitter at DOJCD_ZA, as well as on Instagram. We are at DOJCD. Otherwise, you can just give us a call on a toll-free number. It's 0800 142 446, 0800 142 446. And in case you are using your cell phone, you are welcome to leave your number with Shanine. Shanine tonight is on our telephones, and Linda Mazibuko is on our technicals. Thank you guys so very much. Today you will be going with us up until 7:05. Tonight we are talking careers in justice. I'm not saying we are going to create jobs for you. I'm not saying we have jobs for you. What I'm saying is that if you are one of those kids who used to grow up and say, when I grow up, I want to be a lawyer, listen very carefully. We got somebody who's going to tell us, Dr. Mayer, who's quite very informed around different careers around the justice system, and she will be taking us through all those. And the main aim is to educate the public on various legal-related careers, as well as motivate and encourage the youth who are actually the ones that I'm talking that they've been saying, one day I'm going to be a lawyer. There is more than just a lawyer in this justice system, as well as the department's effort in transforming this legal profession that we have in South Africa. As we know that we're having one of the best constitutions in the world, basically it needs the best people to be working. Without any waste of time, let's welcome Dr. Linda Mayer. She is the head of the Justice College in South Africa. Welcome, ma'am.
Welcome. I want to say good evening to
everyone. All right, good evening and welcome. Sawubona. All right, welcome. And maybe let's just, for people who don't know much about the Justice College, tell us a little bit about the Justice College. Where does it come from? What is it about?
The Justice College is a state academy, and it has been in existence for a very, very long time, in excess of 50 years. The Justice College used to train all judicial officers, that those are the judges and the magistrates and everybody else that participates in the legal system. But at the moment we don't train judges and magistrates anymore, but we train everybody else, all other government departments and various other sectors of communities on issues of legal matters as it relates to legislation.
All right. And give us some few examples. What do you train them on specifically? Because these are people who are already graduates. They are like professionals in their own right.
All right. Well, we have various programs. We, with NGOs, we run, for example, a paralegal practice qualification, which is a community-based qualification and allows people to practice paralegal work within NGOs and trade unions and so forth. Then we run various legislative programs in terms of access to information, for example. We have various labor relations programs that we run for government departments, legislative drafting. But our focus really is on capacitating government departments to have the best legal skills that they need to operate. Remember, the state is the largest legal employer. And the Department of Justice, for example, employs 16,000 people. That's quite a sizable number.
That's quite a number.
And the National Prosecuting Authority, almost 4,000 people. And the Office of the Chief Justice, just over 2,000 people. So you can see it is a very, very vast system. But it is minuscule if you think that all government departments have a legal department within themselves. So all of these opportunities exist for people to enter into the legal system and the legal fraternity. Because, people always say, there's a saying, I'd rather be an unemployed lawyer than an employed plumber. I'm sure you've heard that. You've heard that story.
Yes, most definitely.
And it just means that sometimes we have youth that study LLB degrees, law degrees, and they can't necessarily get articles or pupillage. So to become an attorney, you have to do your articles, and I'll explain that a little bit later if we have
Most
time, because I'm
definitely,
sure
yes.
people will be interested in that. And to become an advocate, you have to serve your pupillage. But not everybody, there's not space for everybody. If we look at the amount of graduates that we have in law degrees, it is, less than 35% of them will get articles within the next year that they graduate. But there are many, many other opportunities for them to enter the legal system. So, for example, we look at court interpreters.
Yes.
And we have very prolific judges that started as court interpreters while they were finishing their degrees.
Yes.
And there are many departments within the Department of Justice. For example, we have the Master's Office that deals with estate planning. We have the Office of the Family Advocate. And we can speak about each of those and what the requirements are to enter into those specific professions.
Well, we got such a very short space of time. So between now and 5 past, let's try to just put in as much as we can. However, we don't have much time for too many things. So you're talking about various legal-related careers. Is there something more? Because we know quite a lot of times people see lawyers representing people who did crime. We see a lot of people are quite very familiar now with Gerinel.
Yes.
It's quite a very popular name around South Africa. Just tell us around Gerinel's career. What's that? And
Right. So Gerinel works for the National Prosecuting Authority.
yes.
And in the National Prosecuting Authority, we have public prosecutors and we have state advocates. So Gerinel is obviously a state advocate, right?
Okay.
So to become a prosecutor, you need to finish your LLB degree and then you apply to the National Prosecuting Authority, and they advertise annually for spaces to become a candidate prosecutor.
Yes.
And you would then work in the courts under the supervision of a prosecutor. And you would then start obviously with different cases, and you would only be able to appear in the lower courts, so in the magistrates' courts.
Yes.
And this is where all prosecutors then start. If they are advocates, so they've been admitted to appear in the High Court, then and they are advocates, admitted advocates, then obviously they can appear in the High Courts, and that is what Gerinel obviously is.
What he does.
Yes.
All right. And then Gerinel works with the head of the NPA called Mr. Sean Abrams. And tell us maybe what would Mr. Sean Abrams' role be? Is he Gerinel's boss? Or is he somebody who actually works with Gerinel at a higher level? Just to get a bit of an understanding.
Advocate Abrams is the National Director for Public Prosecution. So he's the big boss.
Yes.
So Gerinel has to listen to what it is that he says.
All right.
But we must remember that the National Prosecuting Authority, as with all sectors in the judicial sector, has a degree of independence. So it doesn't mean because you're working for somebody that they could influence you necessarily. But there is a social context in terms of the representation that we obviously make.
Yes. All right. Now, there is a lawyer. There is something called the counsel. There is something called the advocate. And all these different titles that we happen to see while people just see lawyers. So are you able to actually
Yes.
break that down for us
Sure.
so that we get to have an understanding?
So anybody that works in the legal profession is referred to as a lawyer. So whether you're an advocate or an attorney or you're a law lecturer, you're referred to as a lawyer. An attorney is somebody that has done their articles, and they mostly do work in the lower courts, so in the magistrates' courts. But
That's
some
an attorney, right?
an attorney, but
Okay.
they can get admission to appear in the High Court. They can apply.
Yes.
But attorneys, the important thing is that they are generalists. Like, you go to a GP, a general practitioner if you go and see your doctor.
Yes, yes.
Now, an advocate is somebody that is a specialist. And an advocate can't help you directly. You first have to go to the GP, so in other words, to your attorney.
Your specialist.
Yes.
Yes.
No, so you have to go to your general practitioner, right?
Oh, yes.
To find out what's wrong with you. So you go and see an attorney to see what is wrong with my case. What is it that I can do? And then they would refer you to a specialist, like a doctor, right? So they would say, this is a matter about contract law. So they would get an advocate that specializes in contract law. But it doesn't mean that you have to get an advocate. Many attorneys are able to deal with legal matters completely without having to instruct an advocate. An advocate is also referred to as counsel because they counsel you in an area of speciality. And the difference, law firms have many attorneys that work within them. An advocate works on their own, but they would belong to a bar council that sets the rules.
Yes. All right. Okay. Time to get those calls. It's 16 minutes after 6 o'clock. Welcome. If you are listening to Muleji FM in Limpopo, if you are listening to Zululand in KZN, thanks to Zibonele in Kaelicha in Cape Town. And now we go into Aliwal North, where we have Takalani Community Radio, and we got Patko. How are you doing, Tate Patko?
I'm not legal that.
I'm not Muranaka. Or do you want to speak, or you will prat, or you can... Ja, enige taal, my bro.
Okay, Tati. Zo die dingen die Linda Meyeri, Luana dat is een goede medis.
En dat.
Kutoka ya pili kugutile Melinda abuwaka di paralegali, ne?
Yes.
And take what I say by in order of join paralegali, kidi qualifications of no benal zone, keep you to ya pili, ne?
Okay.
Kutoka be di kiba saute bahate ubulega justice or banali actually in order of join the Department of Justice. Kidi the subject come the Africa University.
Okay. Is that for the undergraduate? Okay. Thank you very much. Takalani Community Radio is based somewhere in the Eastern Cape border with Free State. For those who have not been down south in our South African country. And Patko wants to know, Dr. Mayer, the requirements of being a paralegal. Okay. That's the first question. We'll get to the other one.
Okay, so to become a paralegal practitioner, you need grade 12. That's the entry requirement to start with a qualification.
Yes.
If you do not have grade 12, there is what an equivalency NQF level 4 qualification that you can do. So what I would advise anybody that's interested in becoming a paralegal practitioner or studying that to contact the SAS CETA, the Safety and Security CETA, and we'll obviously make the number available.
That's right, yes.
They are the custodian of the qualification, and they will be able to tell you what opportunities exist for learnerships and internships, for funded opportunities to study the paralegal practitioner qualification. And the paralegal practice qualification articulates. So in other words, you do different years and you become more advanced in what it is that you do.
Yes.
So you might start with a certificate and then you do the diploma. And then we have very exciting news that the Cape Peninsula University of Technology is launching a degree in paralegal practice. So it is a real career. And opportunities are becoming more and more prevalent for paralegal practitioners. Akiosa is the organizing body for paralegals. And I think it is very important that if you are a paralegal, that you belong to a professional association, because they're doing a lot to advance the opportunities for paralegals to represent their members, not only in NGOs, in trade unions, in legal offices, but it is really a growing job opportunity and career that people should consider.
Is it a profession that stands on its own, like
it is part of the legal profession, so it is recognized as a position within the legal profession.
And then you can study towards being a lawyer using the
Absolutely.
The paralegal qualification.
That would be a natural progression for you, because if you have those modules And specifically, if you studied with university, now we know paralegal, this is the first full degree program that's going to be offered. It will be very easy for you to articulate those subjects if you study. So in other words, to carry those subjects over as you go into your law degree. But it will give you an advantage because you will understand the legal system. And we must never think that it is a lower position or a subservient position, because when we're serving communities in whatever legal profession, we must know that we're contributing to the benefit of society.
That's right. We are talking justice on your favorite community radio, coming to you live from Pretoria via the Government Communication and Information System, as well as the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. And tonight our guest is the head of the Justice College, Dr. Linda Meyer, and she is telling us a lot about various careers that are within the justice system. And by the way, we will talk if these are only limited to government or if they are also an opportunity for the private sector, because we see quite a lot of cases in the private sector going on lately. The biggest one being the Oscar Pistorius case, of course, and then we still have the Marikana cases. Not Marikana per se, man. That was a commission. We will talk about the commissions and all the other things. So what are the differences as well, and where do different professions come in when it's a, let's say, we know when murder is murder, it's like big people coming in there, we're going to defend. But you see, with the commissions, there's quite a lot of people involved, I must say. All right, you calling us on 0800 142 446. It's a toll-free number. And if you are using your cell phone, it's not free. Therefore, speak to Shanine, give her your number. She will be able to call you back. And right now, I am joined by Tsepo Utswakot Lexdorp. Tsepo?
Hello.
Legara.
Ntate Tenega.
How are you, Ntate?
Ntate.
Yes.
Ntate o bua le Tshepo Motsezo a re ditotsa Live FM Motsezo Nasai.
Re a go amogela Tsepo. Thank you to Live FM.
Ntate. Ntate ke go ba go botsa mo ntong ya di-careers tsa justice.
Yes.
How thola ile go maybe o ile a feleta ile go o ile wa nna le case se wa feleta ile go o na le criminal record. Then now o batla go study ntho tsena. Then a jeka go khonagala after that o khona go kreya mosebetsi so.
How study eng a go tlhalosetse gape Morena Tsepo?
Go ke ya maybe o na le criminal record.
Okay.
A o na le criminal record, o na le criminal record le tsone. Then go tsa mo le maybe o study o le ko tsonko, study o le ko tsonko kwale o na le criminal record. From there o tlo go tswa, then o batla go etsa mo o kena mo justice. Go na le tsa di kgonagalo tsa go fetsa go kgona go tsena teng.
Okay.
Ka la criminal record e tla kgona go e ka ske wa kgona go kena mo ntong ya teng.
That's a tough one. Ke yone fela Morena Tsepo? Ke lebogile Morenaka. Let's hear what Dr. Meyer is going to say about this one.
Thank you, Dad.
Thank you. Tsepo's got a very hard one. You get arrested, get convicted, spend a whole lot of time in jail. While you're there, you're studying one of those legal professions. And now it comes, you go out, you're looking for a job. Is your criminal record going to affect you?
I think the most important thing is that there are some careers, if you have a criminal record, that you will not be allowed to practice. Because, for example, to become a judge, you have to be fit and proper. And if you want to become attorney, there are rules and regulations and codes of ethics that you will have to follow. At the moment, the paralegal practice qualification or practitioners have a professional body, and they obviously have a code of ethics that regulates them. And at the moment, as far as my knowledge goes, that doesn't preclude you from practicing as a paralegal practitioner if you have a criminal record.
Yes.
Neither does it preclude you from joining a job in government if you have a criminal record, as you are aware. The most important thing is just that you disclose. Because if there is a job where the specific crime that you committed would impact on your performance in that job, and you did not disclose it, then it becomes problematic. But we take interns and learners, and the issue is just that you disclosed that you have been arrested.
Okay, let me get this clear because I think it's been one of the main concerns for people. Once you see an advertisement there and it says no criminal or the forms are saying criminal record and somebody says no because they feel like it's going to diminish their chances of actually getting that job. Can you really get it to explain it again for those those who have been applying and you see a criminal, whether do you have a criminal record or not, and you know you have? Listen to this. Dr. Mayer?
No, you'd never ever lie. Because that's fraud, right?
Yes, yes.
So never lie. People are willing to give you an opportunity if you own up to what it is that you've done.
Yeah.
So you come and you say, yes, I'm applying for this internship or this learnership or this position. I did make a mistake when I was young and, I was mixing with the wrong crowd or I was under the influence of alcohol. I did a bad thing. But I've done my time. I've repented to society. We can't keep on punishing people. So for some jobs, like in the financial sector, you can understand. If somebody has committed a crime that involves stealing money, or they have a criminal record, in the private sector, they are a lot more strict around that. But there are jobs.
Yeah.
As long as you disclose.
There we go. Another myth broken tonight. Because I believe a lot of people have been believing that your criminal record stays there for 5 years and then you're not going to get any career going. And even in the media, in dramas and stuff, you get to see such kind of stuff where somebody will have a challenge of coming from prison. But anyway, let's move on. I'm going to take these two along with Patco's one. The other one for Patco was saying, what are the subjects are you recommending that somebody take at the school level when they have their path clear that I really want to do something in the legal profession? And then I will couple it with this one from Baron Fori. Thank you, Baron. Baron is from Klerksdorp as well. He says, are there any bursaries available for becoming a lawyer? And at what point do you start supporting somebody who's interested actually in the legal profession?
We work very closely with a SASITA, the Safety and Security SITA.
Yes.
And they sponsor between 600 and 800 bursaries for us per year. So that's quite a big number. So the Department of Justice and all other government departments, you may or may not know this, but 5% of the workforce is in fact learners and interns. So we are creating constantly jobs for the youth. That is what our mandate is in terms of the DPSA. So please always be on the lookout for advertisements. Go onto the websites of all government departments. There is a special section that deals with learnerships and internships. Contact the SITAs. The SITAs are the bodies, the sector education training authorities.
Yes.
And they pay not only for interns and learnerships, but they also pay if you want to go and study a degree. They have opportunities, many bursary opportunities that you can explore. So make contact with your local SITA office and go and see them. And remember, there's a SITA in each sector. So you might go and see the public service sector SITA. You might go and see the SAS SITA. You might go and see the services SITA. There are a myriad. Agri-SITA, if you want to get into agricultural careers. Now remember, as I said, the legal profession is so wide that it doesn't matter what industry you're working in. The legal profession. So you could be an attorney specializing in agricultural matters, in commercial matters. So when you make your selection of your subjects in school, think about the areas that interest you. If you want to become a commercial attorney, think about business subjects. Think about economics, business economics, things that interest you. The fact that you're going to be applying the law to that. Remember, the law is a set of rules. It tells us what we do right and wrong.
That's right.
Yeah?
That's
but
right.
There's an underlying knowledge that we need to apply. So if we have contract law, for example, we need to understand business. If you want to become an attorney that specializes in commercial crimes or in what we call green crimes or brown crimes, green it's environmental crimes.
Yes.
Geography might or biology.
Like rhino
might be
poaching, you would say it's a green crime. Yes.
Exactly. So
pollution and all that.
All of that, and a blue crime would obviously be around maritime crimes.
That's right.
So whatever it is that you want to do, the law is about applying rules. And if you are the kind of person that likes structure and that people apply the law, then there is a vast amount of jobs available for you within the legal fraternity, both in the private and the public sector.
Yes. Call us on 0800 142 446. It's 0800 142 446. Kakel ons gerus. En ons gaan Noordkap toe nou. Mararang en Appington. Hoe gaan het, Mararang?
Hello sir, I'm good and how are you?
Go siame rra.
Ane go gontle sheba nna ke na le potso e one ke batla go botsa gore fa o le mosha maybe o le plus minus 18 years o bo dira crime o bo tshwarwa then e be nna gore wa tlholwa o be nna gore o bona molato and then o bo tswa o fetsa mo sekolo fa o se bone go fetsa mo sekolong jalo go ngona le degree wa kgotsa ona le di gerate tse le gore di na le gore o ka dira tiro ngwe le gore bo tlhokwa mo setšhabeng e le gore tota e tla tsosolosa bašwa jaaka wena ke eng se e leng gore se tla dira kgotsa bokamoso jwa gago bo bewa fa kae fa go ntse jalo
ke go utlwile malome me ga ena sentse a arabile Dr. Meyer about that one me ke tla kopa ra e bueletse gape o tla utlwela ke re ntate Mararang
e tla re tsa mo ele se.
Thank you so much to Riverside Community Radio based in Appington, and he is basically asking the same question that we posed earlier on, but this time around he made the age a bit younger. You're 18 years old, you get into crime, you go into jail, and then now you coming out, you want some work.
Yes.
What do you do? Let's just emphasize on basically, because it was quite a very good highlight. It was my first time actually getting to hear that. You see, once you have a criminal record, it does not bar you from working like the way it has been. Is that right? Yeah?
Yes. No, the thing is, just remember, as I said, disclose. Some people in the private sector will give you an opportunity, some won't. But it is government's policy that it doesn't mean because you have a criminal record that you cannot work in government.
That's right.
Right?
Okay.
Because you have served your time back to the community. You've committed a crime. You've done your time. Now we can't keep on penalizing you forever. But as I explained, some careers will not allow you to enter them if you have a criminal record.
That's right.
But if you committed a crime when you were still a youth, make sure that you go and you see if the crime cannot be expunged. And I hope that in one of our segments that we will have an opportunity to explain to the youth how an expungement process works. Obviously tonight we don't have that time, but they can go to they can definitely go to their local police station and they can get advice on the expungement of their record if they committed a crime when they were underage, right? Under 18 years of age.
All right.
As a youth.
All right.
But if you are 18 years old, as we've said, and you've committed a crime, it doesn't mean you cannot apply for learnerships, internships, and all of these things within government. And remember, paralegal practice, we've said, the key once again, do not forget.
Yes.
Disclose, do not lie. Because the first thing we do as an employer is run a criminal records check.
Yes.
And if you have lied, it obviously becomes a problem because then you're trying to deceive the employer once again. And that is not the intention. If you come clean and you say, look, I made a mistake,
That's right.
people are willing to give you an opportunity as long as you own up to what it is that you've done.
Yeah. Speak the truth, and the truth shall set you free. By the way, we have another one coming from social media. It's Kagiso listening on Live FM. He says he wants to be a high court judge. How do you become that?
Right, Kagiso, that's a very, very good question. So the first thing that you need to do is ensure, I don't know how old Kagiso is. I'm going to assume
he did not actually.
Okay. So let's assume he's still in school. So the important thing, Kagiso, is that you study hard. Because remember, many people want to study law, but there's only a limited amount of space available in universities. So study hard so that you get university exemption and that you're able to get accepted onto the law program. So you would then finish your LLB degree and you would then decide to go into a profession as an attorney,
Yes.
get some experience and become an advocate. Remember, you don't have to be an attorney first to become an advocate, right?
That's right, yeah.
So you would then become an advocate of a bar and you would practice for a number of years. And when the minister would make a recommendation to the president to have you appointed as a judge through the Judicial Services Commission, right? And you would then be appointed as a judge. What we normally see is that advocates that are practicing at the bar, specifically what we call SILCs, senior counsel,
Yes.
they act in as judges very, very often. So that is the way, Kagiso, is to work hard, get experiences, because remember, we mustn't just think about being judges. There are also magistrates, and magistrates practice in the lower courts. And it's a good field for you to get lots of experience. And remember, government is on a huge transformation drive at the moment. So the opportunities for individuals of color is vast.
Yes.
So if you apply your mind, you work hard, you get the experience, the world is your oyster.
25 to 7. And we go into Helderberg in Cape Town, Somerset West. Lunga is gone. Lunga, please call us back. It's 0800 142 446. Moving right along, going to Nelson Mandela Bay. Sonwabo. Hello, Sonwabo.
Good evening, sir.
Siyaphila ninjani tata?
I'm happy. How are you?
All right, my leader.
Yes, my leader.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a blind guy and I want to study to become an interpreter. So I want to know what process do I have to follow in order to study for interpreter?
Are you saying you're blind?
Yeah, I'm totally blind.
Okay, so you're interested in being an interpreter of the court?
Interpreter. Yes. And also, do the Justice College accommodate blind people?
Yes. That's quite a very important question. Thank you for asking that one, Sonabo.
Thank you very much.
Are you before we let you go, is there anything else?
No, that's all.
That's all.
I'll listen to Ngobela Community Radio.
Thank you so much to Sonabo and Ngobela Community Radio in the Nelson Mandela Metro. There it is.
Yes. No,
Quite very profound.
yeah, we're very excited when people that have disabilities, as you know, I'm also disabled. Well, you may or may not know, but it's great when people overcome their challenges and they want to pursue specific careers.
Yes.
So what would be very important for Senabo is that he applies, or what I would ask is that he maybe we get his details and we can make contact with him. And we can advise him of when there are vacancies available, and he can apply to then become a part-time or a full-time court interpreter. Justice College will train partially or blind individuals. We offer our program in court interpreting. We call it Legal Interpreting Program.
Yep.
And yes, absolutely. It
So
is
now,
definitely a career opportunity.
So now you called at the right time, my man. You called at the right time. Shanine, I hope you do have, with the indication by the hand over there, they do have his contact. And so now you called at the right time. That's all I can say. And thank you so much for that question. Let's go to Mpumalanga. We have Defender. Defender? Defender, switch off your radio. I can hear myself on the background. Defender.
Yes, I did.
Hey, how are you?
Am I right in yourself?
All right, Defender. I was going to defend myself and switch you off now. Talk to me, my brother.
Ngiyabonga baba, ngina two questions. I don't know whether the other one has been answered, but the issue of my tattoos. Ngoba siyeva ukuthi sometimes kula minye imisebenzi uma une tattoo bathi manje abaqashi, so singabuta ukuthi in justice sector ke nakhona umuntu ama tattoos, is it a problem noma njani? Then the second question is the issue of commercial law. I don't know ukuthi are young people very aware in terms of who register as commercial law, because most of them babuka the other issues of criminal law and things like that because of vileba itasha right now. How is the intake of students now under commercial law?
Okay. All right. Is that all, Defender?
Yes, I'm listening from Kanyamazane Community Radio in Bombela.
Thank you so much to Kaminyamas and Community Radio, as well as Defender, calling from Nelspruit, aka Mbombela. Dr. Mayor, I think this is the code of conduct. The code of conduct. That's where it gets it. Tattoos, gold teeth, earrings on guys. You know, those funny things that people do just to accessorize themselves. Where do you fall in once you want to do?
Well, I think, you know,
legal stuff.
When people want to be fashionistas, we need to obviously consider these things. So I think the important thing is, as you say, every employer has a code of conduct where they would say, and you sign that employment contract where you agree to abide by that code of conduct. So normally what employers will say is that your tattoo must be covered if you're working with the public. Because some tattoos might be offensive to people. You might understand it might be a religious connotation or whatever it is that that you want to tattoo. So be sure that you understand what it is that the employer wants. But body piercings and tattoos, you agree voluntarily when you enter into an employment contract to abide by the rules of the employer.
That's right. I can imagine you can still wear tracksuits when you're doing sports law. It's all good.
It's all good. And I think, you know, it depends really what your engagement with the public is. Because if you're a frontline employee, like let's say, for example, you're a prosecutor and you're standing, you know, with your tattoos and exposed, it doesn't mean that you're any less of a good
Lawyer.
prosecutor. But I mean, the issue is that you have to have, there's a dress code.
Yes.
So you know that you have to wear specific clothing and you have to then appear with your toga in court, and that is the rules. That is what we agreed to wear when we go into court. I'm sure everybody doesn't like walking around in those capes either.
Yeah, indeed.
But it is indeed the rule that we have to apply.
All right. And he also asks about, there's quite a lot of interest in any of the other law professions, but he is quite curious about how much intake is there in the commercial law fraternity.
There's a very good intake in the commercial law fraternity, but he is quite right. We wish that more people would look into commercial litigation.
I'm sure he's asking because he knows that there's quite a big gap over there. But what are the challenges in terms of getting into commercial law?
The biggest challenge is that most of the matriculants don't focus on financial subjects. So in maths, financial literacy, accountancy. Because remember, if you're going to be a commercial attorney,
Yes.
that is exactly what you're going to be busy with. Figures, right? You're going to be defending things, contract law, sales. And you need to understand all of these things. So if you have no interest for it whilst you're at school, you're not miraculously going to now appear one day in university and be interested in finance. We all know how it is.
That's right.
I mean, I do finance as a manager in government because I have to, not because I like it. Otherwise, I would have gone into the finance section.
That's right.
So it's your choice. Whatever works for you is what you specialize in. Remember, it's important that when you go to work every day, that you love what you do. Otherwise, you're going to be a very unhappy person at work.
There we have it. This thing of maths being compulsory and somebody saying, but I'm going to be a lawyer, I don't need a maths as a subject. There we go. Commercial law, requirement, mathematics. Let's go to Somerset West. Lunga is back listening to Helderberg Radio. Lunga. Hello, Lunga.
Hello.
Kunjani tat?
Ngiphilile man tata Khondo kunjani?
Hayi siyaphila Khondo tat.
Yeah.
Uthini umbuzo wakho?
Tata ndinombuzo eminye torho seyiphendulekile ngakumbi lo mcimbi we-prisoner okanye ex-prisoner nam torho bendifuna ukwazi kwela cala kodwa ke okona ngoku sekubalulekile into yokubana ke inside esikolweni I would say the university level I would like uDr Linda andinikeze I would say much more clarity into yokubana ke how true is it okanye ke how real is it into yokubana ke the law subject itself, it is I would say what you call it not more what you call it African orientated, I would say a subject itself.
Which subject is that? Come again?
about, I would say, law as, I would say, like law as a career, or should I say as a subject.
Oh, as a career, okay, yeah.
Yes. And moving forward to that, I would like to understand, within South Africa, we are talking about issue of transformation. And how transformative is our, I would say, legal, I would say, legislature when it comes to basically, and in terms of abantu abamnyama, how are they basically represented in terms of the law itself, legislature itself? Are we much more represented as well? And the last one that I do have is that access of law, in do the lawyers, or should I say, do the advocates and the doctor, I would say, like with Dr. Linda, do they manage to find a way of bringing this towards the communities? I know we have been talking about rural areas and all that. Are there any, I would say, initiatives that brings these within, so that instead of saying to the people they must go to the internet, yes, we know the students must go and learn, are there offices that are being set within townships in terms of the transformation, in terms of bringing the access in itself? Thank you very much. I will be listening to Radio Helderberg 93.6 FM in Cape Town.
And Tata Lunga, thank you so much for that profound questioning. But let's move on from Somerset West and go right on to the other side of the border. Next to Ramatlawam is Mafike. We have Alfred. Legara. Retsugile.
Ya nna ke letso yana go botsa ka diruto ke ntse ke utlwa ngaka Meya
Yeah.
bua ka bo commercial law yalo
Yeah.
ana ke botsa gore ya ke ke dirile maths and science ko sekolong mme ke batla go nna karolo ya commercial law gore ke dikgato di fetseng ka nna ka feletsa ke di latella a ke tla feletsa ke tlhokagala gore ke upgrade yalo ke go ira bo di commercial subject kgotsa go na le ka tsele go ka dirwang ka yone.
O ra gore o kana kwa teng wa bo irile fela math.
Irra.
O sena bo accounting, o sena tse dingwe tse di maleba.
Irra.
Ke a go utlwa rra.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Quite a number of questions, but anyway, let's get Kaiser from Hammanskraal. Ahman Shanin man. Kaiser from Hammanskraal. Hoe gaan het?
Ke teng ra le ka ba
Ke go buiste ka bo mo ka Afrikaans ne ke batlo go re wa nkutlo.
ke go utlwa right
Right, so tswela pele.
ya no ke ka itsa kanyana wa moretela committee radio le go go tsa fela gore Department of Justice yona ka mogoleng ka teng a ya di dira fela di outreach program mo dikolong tsa bana ba dikolo ka gangwa hela
Ke yona kgangyo. O na le sengwe gape ra?
ya no go botsa sa fela ka sengwe senga ferenka ka le mele fela la just happy ba re ke di paralegals tsena gore ga tlhela mo Hammanskraal ka gangwa hela gore a gone ba tla dira fela di intake tse tsona ja.
Oh, all right. Ke lebogile Tate Kaiser from Hamilton.
Ya mo Moretele FM.
Thank you morena ka re leboga le Moretele FM Ausanito o ira mmereko bonagalang le tota ka ko. These two are the same, Dr. Meyer. Outreach programs to communities to make them learn about various careers and all that. However, of course, this is the first outreach we're doing. That's why you found us here. That's why you're calling us on 0800 142 446. But physical community outreaches, and he's also mentioning that, particularly going to schools, because in many cases we find that career guidance in schools is in need of such kind of outreaches. Do you as a college do that, or as a department?
As a department, we do have information sessions, but I must say that the point is valid and it is well taken. And Justice College is therefore working very closely with public education at the moment in the Department of Justice so that we can formulate that strategy to take the message to the communities. And I just wanted to answer one of the previous comments that were made about that we physically need to be somewhere. Don't tell people just to go to the internet, and that's very important.
That's right.
Remember that the CETAs have offices everywhere, in every single province, and in many TVET colleges, in many colleges they have offices.
Yes.
Right? But please make contact with them, because it is their job to explain education and career opportunities, as much as it is our responsibility in the Department of Justice to educate you about judicial opportunities and professions in the legal profession.
That's right.
It doesn't mean that when you're listening today that you want to be a lawyer or you want to work in this industry. It might be any other industry. So please make contact with the CETAs. They do very, very good work. And they spend billions every year on learnerships and internships and study opportunities for youth.
Yes.
And I'm not just talking about people that, because youth is somebody classified under 34
Yes.
in South Africa. So it doesn't mean because you're in your late 20s, you've never held a job, that you must become despondent. Remember, as long as you're not trying, the answer will always be no. But even if you try 500 times, sooner or later, you are going to find success.
Now, a further question on commercial law. He is saying here that he might just have had maths. You know how some of the schools, they do 6 subjects and then you only find that you're doing science and maths as well as biology on top of the 3 languages. Now, would there be a requirement to actually upgrade as a grade 12 learner? Would there be a requirement for you to upgrade with at least a few more subjects other than mathematics to join the commercial law?
No, you will actually be taking those commercial law subjects and you would have to pass them. I think the point that we were trying to make is it would be easier for you if you were studying it in school because you would have a basic understanding, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't preclude you from going into that area because you would have to pass those legal subjects. The important thing is that you get accepted onto the degree and that you have university entrance. That is the very, very most important thing.
That's right. One last one from Kaiser. He was saying that in Hammanskraal there seems to be quite a challenge of shortage of paralegals. He's saying, maybe, I don't know if it's a relevant question for you, but he's saying, is there something that could be done actually from the students that you have from the college to actually join the paralegal team in Hammanskraal because they feel like they're having challenges with shortage and all that stuff?
Well, we're working very closely with the professional body for paralegals. As I said, Akiosa, and we can make their number available as well because we sponsor training qualifications through them for people that work in NGOs specifically. Because at the moment we're focusing on empowering communities, not on commercial representatives, as you can understand, because we have many communities that need help, that need legal advice, right? So obviously there's a difference between advice that an attorney gives you that has consequences and basic advice to assist you in the operations of work. So the point is very well taken, and we'll definitely speak to the professional body for paralegals to say that these opportunities exist. How can we explore it? And I will also take it up with the CEO of the SASITA to see how we can assist the community.
That's right. All right. Let's take 2 calls. One is in the Free State. Paulina? Paulina, we.
Dumela,
Le kae us Paulina?
I'm not le kae.
Hamnati ngwaneso.
Oh, ke rata show haholo ke founa ke le mo Botshabelo Mosupatela 107.4 ne.
Ra itebolela ebile ra o leboela nne.
Thank you that. Ke rata show yena is very good that ke rata le fela mane mo ba hlalosang teng ka taba tsa di criminals of court where you can even apply more government and all this stuff.
That's right. Yes.
My question is one. Ke kopa ho botsa hona like more department ha hona this thing ya hore if a dire bana ba etsa dintho tsa di-career acquisition.
Yes.
Na ha bana mo ba ka ba offerang teng hore ba volunteer so that ba be le this thing le this passion ya hore really they want to be lawyers and
yes.
Na ibe ha hona ka mokgo e ka etswang ka teng because according to me I don't know hona iteng go ba ka volunteer wa a dire ha ba ntse ba le sekolo make ba lo volunteer somewhere if ba study that thing.
Okay.
Yeah, have okay ke potso ya ka eno. Yena ha ke semina ka pa ke ka khona ya arabua na. Here is the child. I didn't know taking totally councillors, politics and everything. Here is a group of people, Bafwana somewhere. Unfortunate part of it, go tshwara ngwana under age a le mong. And then case ya teng e dula e kgutlisetswa morao go thwe batswadi ba batle lawyer. Na mona e be justice na e be ke eng what is it can be done, because I mean this step ngwana sekolong nna teng wa sokola e mo disturb mosebetsing wa hae, you understand?
E le hore ba fihlelwa ba etsang mo
ke be very clear ngwana o thola a ipatile e le hore ho na le moferefere concerning le counselor ne and then ngwana o thola a ipatile ha bo le counselor e se na le counselor
ha bona
not knowing hore ke ha bo le counselor mo and then ngwana out of all this two mo kaofela ba khona ho balla ho tshwara yena a le mong yena o go ipatila nkere so ba tla ba mo tshwara ha ba keta ba misa police station, and then from police station ke mona ba mpisang ha bona, and then motswadi go tswa amathele yena court and nyewe ya teng ha se nyewe e sellang ke nyewe e setila go tswa morao ho tswe up until the last time o tswe motswadi a tle a batle lawyer kana o tla khona ipatla lawyer ka pa o se lawyer ya musona. So ke batla go tseba gona is it fair for ngwana for, because no dira ke dikolo go no ho ntse ho ngolwa so ngwana tshetse a dula a ntse a kupua hore o yo hlalla court.
Okay. No ke le buila haholo Tlhausipolena, ke tla kopa Dr. Meyer a o thuse ka tsona tse pedi tseo me.
Please ntate ke tla mamela 107.4 Musipatsela.
A re supetsela mme.
Thank you ntate.
Thank you. Let's take one more caller and then we can get to the Anonymous from Pretoria. Anonymous?
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Well, I'm not so good.
All right. Your question, your comment?
My question is that I heard Dr. Meyer saying that when you have a criminal record, you can work for the government. I'd like to dispute that statement because I was rejected by the government after the whole recruitment process has taken place. At a later stage, when I was submitting my clearance certificate, I was told that I can't work for the government. My case is that I had a case of assault with a friend and which was later withdrawn. But however, I missed a court appearance, so I was later charged for contempt of court, which resulted as a criminal record on my name. As when I check my clearance certificate, it goes there that failure to appear in court.
All right. And then do you mind sharing with us the kind of maybe career you are applying for?
Yes, I'm a graduate in finance accounting. I did finance and accounting public, and yes, so I'm looking for an internship in finance, but it's been over 2 years now. I'm getting rejected. I don't know. I feel like all my studying has gone into vain. I feel like I'm unemployable, and I went to the Department of Justice to try and apply for an expungement, and I was told that I can only apply for an expungement after 10 years.
Yeah. Before you leave, I'm going to just ask Dr. Meyer to make follow-up questions with you just now. Speak to her directly, ne?
Okay.
All right, I just want to ask, the first question is, did you disclose when you applied for the position that you had a criminal record?
Yes, I always tick on the Z83
Okay.
with criminal records, and I always tick convicted.
All right, so remember one of the things that I said earlier was that it depends on the type of career that you are going to enter. Now, if you have an assault charge, it doesn't directly relate to the financial sector.
Sorry, can I just disturb you there? It's not an assault charge. The assault charges were dropped. The charge is for contempt of court.
Contempt of court.
Which is failure to appear in court.
Yes. All right. So we would have to look at the specific application that you made to the Department of Justice, and I'm going to ask you if you would please give us your contact details, because then I could go and find out exactly what the situation was around your application, and then we could obviously...
I couldn't apply. When I went to the Department of Justice, I asked the lady at the reception for information, and she just told me all criminal records are treated the same, and I can only do an expungement after 10 years.
Yes, the expungement, the lady is correct in terms of advising you in that. But in terms of government's policy is that they do not preclude you from joining government as long as you disclose. But obviously there are some job categories where if the offence would impact on the career that you are going to follow, then that would preclude you from that position. But if you, I can tell you, for example, in the Justice College, have interns and learners that made silly mistakes when they were young, and they have criminal records, and they are internships and learnerships with me, even in the Justice College. So the Department of Justice understands when we say that people have paid their penalty back to society, that we take that seriously. We don't keep on punishing people for what it is that they've done. It is very frustrating as a young person when you are told that, because obviously that information is not correct.
I am frustrated because right now I work at the store and I feel like all my studying has gone into vain, because even today I've applied for a job at the private sector and I was asked to submit this clearance certificate, and I don't know what is my fate because I can't get I can't get a simple internship for like you mentioned that it's important that one does what one studies what they love, because it can be very frustrating to wake up to something that you don't like every day.
But I'd say don't lose hope, Anonymous, because I'm sure there's been quite a lot of people who've been doing a lot of applications, and basically it might be, you might never know. It will take you to bigger things. But before I just let you go, let me just get the doctor to say something.
And I just want to say, apply for a learnership or an internship. It might be, not what you're expecting as a graduate, because you are obviously expecting, you have certain income that you are expecting, but there is this thing now that you need to deal with. So rather get into it.
I'm not really concerned about the income, because I understand in my field I can't just be a state accountant. I have to have basis and experience before I can be hired. So all I want is an internship for me to launch my career in my area of expertise. That is all.
But I think that let's get all your details, and then, because obviously we have limited time left and they ask us some other questions that we need to deal with, and then let's get you proper advice and guide you as to what it is that you can do. So don't lose hope. We will contact you. I promise you that we will contact you, and I will personally meet with you, and we will obviously discuss your matter and see what it is that we can do to assist you and give you advice.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anonymous from Pretoria. Let's deal with these ones quickly. Time is of essence right now. It's just evaporating quite very quickly. Internships, volunteering. I'm asking it again, Doctor, because Paulina is from Free State, and it's easier if you're in Pretoria. You just get to the Justice College. I don't know. But what about in other parts of South Africa?
The department has an equal spread geographically. So it doesn't mean because you're in Pretoria you're going to be advantaged. Very often we have where we would do outreaches in the Eastern Cape, for example, or in the Free State, and we go to very far-lying courts. Remember, we are the Department of Justice, so our job is working in courts. Obviously, we can't help you with an internship opportunity or a learnership opportunity if there is no court there or there is no regional office. But we definitely are in all the provinces, and I can assure you that we have an equal spread. So what you need to do, please, is to watch the media, go onto our website if you can, but as I said, make contact with your local CETA offices, because we are just one department. Remember, there are many, many government departments.
Yes.
And if your name is out and you have applied to all the CETAs and you know of these opportunities, remember, you're just amplifying the chance that you are going to get a placement.
That's right. And one burning issue for every career in South Africa, including the world. Recently, we saw sports. They took quite a lot of drastic measures against some sporting codes. Transformation. That was asked by Kaiser in Hammanskraal.
And the most important question that we need to address is transformation.
Transformation in South Africa.
Now, I can tell you that we are transforming in the legal profession, but not fast enough. That is a reality, right? So as the Department of Justice, you will know that we have taken a stance we are the state attorneys. So what that means is we are the attorneys for all other government departments. So when we instruct advocates with briefs, our first choice always is black African females, then black males, then colored and Indian, and then white. But that means that before you get to the white person, there must be nobody else available. So you might see high-profile cases where you still see a white person, or, and that might be a very specialized thing. But what I just want to encourage everyone, remember that the articles, more than 50% of placements of articles, it's not a good number, but it's a huge difference from what we had a number of years ago, even 4 or 5 years ago, is that the more people that apply for articles and the better quality individuals that we have, the easier it's going to be to transform the legal system. And remember, quality just means access to education and experience.
Yep.
That's all it means.
All right. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. It's 5 minutes past 7 o'clock. Thank you so much, Dr. Mayer. But before you go, I just wanted to ask this, that what makes a good lawyer? Because transformation, I see it. But now, I know that I killed someone and Berry Roo is good. I got money for Berry Roo. What makes a good lawyer?
All right. So, the thing about a lawyer, and so when we speak about lawyers, we know that we're speaking about attorneys and advocates, right?
Yes. Already we've made that.
So the most important thing that makes somebody good is that they understand their subject area. Don't be taken with everything that you think you need a lawyer for. If your family member dies or you have a maintenance claim, go to the Department of Justice offices, go to the master's offices and get advice. But I'm going to get back to your point now. I'm just making sure that I make that point.
Quickly, because we actually
so
ran out of the time
is
now.
You need to be structured. You need to research. Don't think this is like LA law. You're just going to jump on there and, argue, and that makes you a good lawyer.
Yeah.
A good lawyer knows what they're arguing, and they have the information available to make the best possible case for their client.
There you have it, 6 minutes after 7 o'clock. Thank you so very much to our guest tonight. She's been quite very outstanding. Dr. Linda Mayer, she's the head of the Justice College, as well as thanks to the 65 partnering radio stations that we're working with all over the country. You are making quite a very big difference. And till next week, le péril.